Checking 1 2, checking 1 2, making sure we're live. Are we live here? Are we live? Let me know if you guys can see me. I think I'm live. Terrible shot, absolutely terrible shot. I apologize for that, guys. I'm using my laptop camera. For some reason, this little camera, this little webcam I got, it's just it just keeps having issues. I don't know if it's a bug. I don't know what's going on, but we gotta do what we gotta do, and we gotta do with what we have. So let's see here. What if I was to edit over here and over there? All right. Well, it is what it is. We gotta roll with the punches, and this is what we have today. So, anyways, my fellow simpletons and degenerates, good morning. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope that you guys took opportunity of today's little dip. We never are afraid. Here, let me see this. I think that may be better. We're never afraid of red days. Actually, we welcome them, as we don't fear the upside. So today was actually an opportunity day for us, right? Let's see here. Cindy B's in the house. Mando number 5's in the house. Cindy B saying, I see you. Ricardo in the house saying, I think it is arm folding day. Not necessarily. There was very much a lot of opportunity in the early morning, my friend. We're back, says Tom Kaufman. Ricardo saying savage. Tom Kaufman saying sell some cash your puts. I did already. I sold some 5 strikes. I sold one for $14 and then another 50 for $10, just to mitigate. But I'm in it. I'm in it, man. Just because Ethereum is not gonna give a shit whether we are tanking or not. As far as the market, if anything, I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are gonna go crazy when everybody's taking their money out, because they're gonna get scared like they did this morning, right? And that's what's gonna happen. Mando saying sold some $7 on open, or those $7 open cash secure puts, I'm gonna guess, are looking good. Jude K saying morning savage and all. Kilua Dre saying morning all. QUBT looks good for a cash secure put. Yes, it does. But I sold a lot of my cash secure puts yesterday. Everything was flying, right? And I was actually on the way to get the MRI, and I just keep going up. And I was kind of, I started taking money off of the table. There were some contracts that were going to expire in 2026, some 2027, like some Big Bear, and I bought back those $7 cash secure puts that I sold for, I think, $375 and $365. I bought them back for like $3 or like two something. Anyway, so I went out a year and a half ahead, and I took 30%, 35%. Like, I made in a couple of weeks or in a month 35% of of a return, and I don't have to wait a year and a half to get the other 60%, 65%. It just, that to me is just greedy, and like, I don't want to fold my arms that long. So that's exactly why we go on really red days, and we get stink bids, right, and stink asks. And then when we have a days that the thing jumps like that, then you go and you take 25%, 30% off the top, and then you kind of bring your money back in and you reevaluate. You're seeing where the opportunity is next, right? So you don't let either way would have been cool. Like, those shares in your account and you're gonna wait a year and a half. Nothing's wrong with that, right? But I personally like to take 25, 30% and then move it, keep it moving. And look at what happened, right? Look at what happened today. QUBT, I did the same thing with. And today I sold some more Rocket cash secure puts. Still the $20 strike in December. So it's okay. But no one ever got hurt taking a profit, right? I told you guys yesterday. Somebody asked a couple of questions. I said, "Hey, look, nobody's ever gonna regret taking a profit. It's just not the way it works, right? Yeah, you could always make more, right? But like if you take 30, 40, 50% right now, you don't have to wait another 6, 7, 8 months for the other 50% because you already made in a month or two 50%. So it's just numbers, right? So you could very well wait for the rest of the time and say, hey, you could be like premium of the option, right, Mr. Poto, and you can say, hey, look, I'm gonna wait and just and squeeze everything out of it, and then and then buy it back for a penny. You could do that. That's okay, But I'm active and I like to move my money around. There's always something else going on, and I'm okay doing that. You know, and some others, I dared the market to give me those $40 SoFi cash secure puts expiring 2028 for $20, and I think it got to like 17, $18 today, and I'm like, damn it, but it would have been nice to get filled in one of those. Let's see here. Jude K saying good morning. Savage Kilua Dre saying good morning. Cindy B saying I bought back one of my Ion Q that was a $35 put and sold April 2025 45s. Cash and puts for $6.75. Now here's the thing with Ion Q, Cindy B, and I'm one of the people that were, telling people, hey, look, Ion Q's $13, $15. This is a great investment. It's already at like $70. If you own it, don't be afraid to sell. Don't be afraid to sell, because it's already up. You went from 15 to $70, 20 to 70. You turned a 3x, you basically 3x your money. So 3 or 4x that. What's wrong with that? If your initial investment was, let's say, 200 shares, don't be afraid to sell 100 shares. And that's investing. You made a profit, right? So you basically, what you're doing is you're taking all your initial investment back and then some, and then you're leaving the other to ride. This one you can sell covered calls on till the cows come home, or he gets, called away. Either way, you're making a profit, right? So don't be afraid to take a profit. That's when I say that is when, don't be afraid to ever take money off the table. Nobody ever got hurt taking money off the table. That's exactly what I mean. That means that, you're at 52-week highs on a lot of stuff. And when I play this song, when I play my little song, I'm not doing it to be cheeky. I'm doing it because it's an absolute madhouse, right? It's a circus. It's comical. There's clowns on Wall Street. There's clowns everywhere telling you, "Oh, guys, just keep your money here." And I just think it's laughable because why are you gonna buy stock at 52-week highs? Stock that was down at $100, $80 a share, a year ago, 8 months ago. You ran it up to 300, and now you ask people to buy it at 320, 330. That's insane. Like that, the time was then. Why were you telling people and pounding the table and saying, come on in, guys? You were saying, no, be careful, guys. The market's dangerous. Don't go in. Your hard-earned money needs to stay with you. Put it on ETFs. And now that stuff has ran, they're like, hey, go into growth stocks, right? It's just crazy to me. Let's see here. So Cindy B, don't be afraid to take profit, man. As far as cash secure puts right now, it's kind of high. It's kind of high for cash secure puts. I'm very interested to see what happens, but I think today was a precursor of things to come. So Ion Q 45s, cash secure puts, you're essentially, buying it like at $38, right? So yeah, I would like Ion Q to come down to like 40, 35, and then do 30s, just to protect yourself even more. But I mean, it's not a bad company. It's just it's a little expensive now. And just, I mean, I'm being honest, right? Like I would, just like I was saying, I think that, Tesla's overpriced, and Nvidia's overpriced. I'm telling you right now, Ion Q is overpriced. All you have to go to the data, right, and look at how much money they've made in profit, and then just look at the, how many times, price over earnings are they trading now, right? Um, look at the value, right, and so it's just it just let's see, Ion Q. It's at 68.32 today, down 7%, 7.5%. Um, the market cap is $20.33 billion. I want to ask you, go to their earnings and see how much money they're making. If a company's making $150 million in profit, $100 million in profit, do you think it's justified? It's justified being at like $20 billion? I don't know. Think about that, right? So market cap should be closer to like 2 billion, 3 billion. It's running. That's what we want, right? But you gotta also be honest, with yourself, and then you say, hey, look, we had a nice run. Don't be afraid to take a profit, right? And then go in when it dips 20%, or a little more. But if you like the company, you like the company. You're willing to hold it for a long time. It's all good. You're going to be selling covered calls, right? So I think you could have gotten a little cheaper. That's all. Kalua Dre. Kent's mom saying, Savage, your number one fan is here, and it is all good. Kent's mom is here. Thank you so much for tuning in, Kent's mom. I hope you're making money this morning. Let's go, Savage. Boom, take the money, says dude. CKT morning all bids to buy back covered calls today. A lot of bids. Yeah, I did. I bought back a lot of covered calls today. Some filled, some didn't. Arms folded. Feeling good about my position in SOXS. That's exactly why we bought SOXS, SQQQ, and TZA. That is exactly it. It's insurance. Think of it as insurance. Right now, those were at 52-week lows and close to it right now still. So not too late to buy a couple of those shares. The SOXS, which is a semiconductor bear, is leveraged to the 3X, right? SQQQ, you're basically shorting the QQQ. I think it's running extremely high. TZA is basically a hedge against like the S&P 500. So anyways, just so you guys know, there's ways to the safeguard. Yes, of course, things are at 52-week highs, right? But when stuff gets frothy, when stuff is starting to seem a little too expensive, that's kind of when you start going in and going at 52-week lows. I mean, when it comes to the stocks that kind of are inverse to the market going up, right? Just a thought. Let's see here. Jay Gill is in the house saying good morning, and Savage. Ricardo Canales, I'm working on that mindset, 30%, 45%, and move to the next trade. Yeah. He waits to the 1 cent buybacks. Yeah, no, so yeah, Poto does that, and that's his thing. It's all good. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But like personally, I like to take profits at 25, 30, 35, 40%. Some stuff I wait, like if it's something that's about to expire, let's say some stuff that I wrote like, a month ago or a month and a half ago. And I still think that it's got a lot to come, room to the upside or downside. And it expires October. I mean, next week's October pretty much, right? So I'm okay waiting on that. But if it's something that, let's say, expires 2027, and right now I'm at 40%, right? I sold it 2 months ago. In 2 months, I made 40%. It just, to me personally, doesn't make any sense to wait another, 18 months, 16 months for the rest, the 60%, because I already got 40%. It's just I take now my money, and I'm sitting on cash, and then see where else the opportunity lies, and then I move it, right? Wing Commander is in the house saying, just quickly checking in. I have to get my kid into bed. Go Savage, alive. Oh, give Savage a like. And he did some. Wing Commander, thank you, brother. Tell your kid that the T-Rex is here if he doesn't go to sleep. He's here right now. This is exactly the trading day. This is it right here. Chump, chump, chump. You know, I don't know, man. It was really weird to see people going up in arms and saying, "Oh my God, what's going on?" It's like the Dow, the S&P down 1%. 1%. Do you know what it's gonna be like when the Dow, when the S&P and the Nasdaq go down 10%, 15%? It's gonna be crazy. So, anyways, I thought that was very, very funny. Jesse Wilson in the house saying, "Yo, what's up, CKT? But about 10,000 worth of UNHG when it collapsed, 2x short on UNH, but half back at 25% profit and letting the rest go for a while. Long-term bull on UNH. UNH is it's healthcare, right? And they acquired, who do they acquire? Um, they acquired Optum RX, right? It's a prescription company, and I think that prescription company has a ridiculous amount of employees. I think they have a lot of clients, and they kind of have a lot of pull. And I think that acquisition was key. And UNH, yeah, it'll go to 500. It'll go to 500, especially when the economy dips, and people start getting like highly stressed and start going to the hospitals a lot. I mean, it's healthcare, right? People are going to go and get sick, and it's just when the economy goes down, crime rate goes up, right? And when crime rate goes up, there's more people at hospitals. There's more people that are stressed. There's more people that just ail in general, right? And they end up using the hospital as a clinic. You're going to have a ridiculous number of people that are going to get off of they're going to fall off of Obamacare, right? The American Care Act. A lot of people didn't know that the American Care Act, in fact, is Obamacare. And they said, you know, there's interviews where people are asked, "Do you like Obamacare?" That I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I like the American Care Act. It's better. That's where we are, my friends. And so now with all these cuts happening everywhere, anywhere from education to special ed programs, to after school programs, um, to food aid and pantries that are subsidized by us. Those programs are going away so that Elon could have a $1 trillion package. That's just the way it is. And although I am okay with CEOs making a good money because they run companies, it's not easy to, right? I just don't think there should be any trillionaires on Earth. That's insane, right? If a monkey was to hoard all the bananas in the Amazon, or not the Amazon, but let's say in the jungle, uh, and a monkey was to just basically go and start hitting every other monkey whenever they're about to have a banana, and he was hoarding them all, right? You would say that monkey has a sickness. There's something wrong. We got to put that monkey down because he's hurting everybody else, all the other monkeys. And the other monkeys are afraid of it because he's hoarding all the bananas. The other monkeys have to eat, and so that's what's happening with the billionaires and multi-billionaires, right? They're hoarding all the cash, and this is not the problem. The problem is that uh, people that work for these multi-billionaires, like Amazon, like Burger King, McDonald's, Walmart, Target, right? People that work for those companies, even if they were to work 40 hours a week, 160 hours a month, by the standards that they're giving their employees, the hourly wage minimums they're paying, the people cannot afford a one-bedroom house or a one-bedroom apartment. If you are paying wages to the point where people that you're employing cannot afford to live somewhere, even at the most modest uh, one-bedroom apartment, there's something wrong. You're not paying your employees enough. So excuse me, Elon and Jeff Bezos, if I don't agree with your payment packages, um, because if people that you employ, are going on EBT and receiving food stamps, right? If they're going to like pantries and taking food from different pantries because they can't afford to buy groceries, there is something inherently wrong with the economy, right? And who's subsidizing that? It's us, the taxpayers. right? But what? But what? But Jeff Bezos wanted to have a destiny. What is it? What do they call it? A wedding where people go and fly, a destination wedding in Italy, and some, I think, in Sicily or something, and he spent $1 billion on his wedding. And it was not like it was like, some, you know nice, Italian girl from Sicily that he met from some family, and it's gonna be a no. It was like some 50-year-old chick that had like 25 surgeries in her face, and she was married to someone and cheated on this guy with Jeff Bezos, and then divorced, and it's just insane to me. And then you're gonna pay $1 billion to marry her. That's just crazy. But yet you won't pay your employees enough so that they can have a place to live. So that's the problem that I have with this equation, right? So anyways, I don't want to go on a rant, guys. I just don't want you guys to think that I'm that guy, right? But it's a little disheartening because we're footing the bill as taxpayers, and then whenever I receive a check, and I work hard, and I see how much they take. I have 3 children, right? And I'm like, you're taking money out of my kid's mouth so that I can pay for Jeff Bezos's, uh, so I can subsidize his employees because they can't pay for groceries, or they can't, pay their apartment. That's just crazy, man. And don't even get started with the medical, right? Why are we paying so much money in medical fees? Like, do you understand how much taxes we pay? Shouldn't we be able to go to a hospital and like maybe be seen in an emergency room and like have that taken care of? I don't know, man. That's just crazy. It's Europeans are up a leg on that. They say it themselves. I do pay a little higher taxes, but like I don't pay for your university, and I don't pay for medical bills. Like if there's something wrong with them, they go and then they get seen, and that's it. If it's something like some type of specific aesthetic, right, or something that's not um, terribly of an emergency, they will have you wait on a list, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two, right? But that just there's so many people that need to be seen, right? And then we have emergency services that those people need to be taken care of faster than others, right? But if your employees don't have dental insurance or vision insurance, because you're paying minimum wage, and yet don't want to give them like optical insurance, and you want to give them the most minimal medical insurance, and yet they still have to pay a deductible, a high deductible like that. That's crazy to me. And then yet you want to get paid $1 trillion for running the company. That's wild, man. That's just wild. Um, let's see here. Kent's mom is saying Uncle B famous line is always be writing. Savage famous line, take money off the table. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with taking money off the table. You could always be writing. You're essentially doing the same thing. You're always writing, but you're always taking money off the table. That's exactly what that means. And I've had this conversation with Uncle Brute, right? And I was like, what you saying? Always, he's like, that's exactly what it means. You're always writing. So you take money off the table, right? You see where the opportunity is. You sell another covered call, this time at a lower strike, and you protect yourself on the downside. And if it runs, then you roll over to a higher strike, and you're always ahead of the stock. That's exactly what he said. So, yay to Uncle Bruce. Hopefully, I hope he's having fun. I think he's having a lot of fun. Stop old SoFi. It's not about stopping it. It's about capitalizing on whatever it's giving you, right? We all know SoFi is going up. We all know SoFi is going to 40. But how do you get paid? If you don't want to buy it where it is because it may be swinging wildly, right? Go through a $40 cash secure put. You don't want to go to 2018. You don't want to go to 2018. Go to 2027. Get paid. What is a $40 cash secure put for SoFi going for right now? If you go to 2027, let's see here. Right. Damn, there's a lot of contracts opening on SoFi. Let's see here. $40. You know what? You could have gotten $15. You could get $15 right now. $15 for $15 for the January 15, 2027 $40 cash secure puts on SoFi, my friends. I don't know. Does it look good to you? You know, I don't know. So Wing Commander, you made a comment about that. I think you wrote me on the Discord and you said, "What do I think about?" I think there was a $2 difference between the 2028 and 2027, and you were like, "Why hold for so long?" I think what you're trying to say is like, why get paid an extra $2 to go a year? And my answer is, I just want to get 50%. Like this is it's a percentage thing. It's not a number thing. And it's just like if I can get 50%, and that's why the stinker's at 20, right? For the $40 cash secure put expiring in 2028. I just want to get 50% because that way I can justify that each year is 25%, right? But remember that I get 5% interest on that Charles Schwab account. So like I'm realistically getting that 30% and then like 32 something percent because 5% of 40. Well, it wouldn't really be 40, it'll be like 60. So 5% of 60 this year, and then it'll be like 5% of like 65 the next year. So like it compounds, right? So that's essentially so that in my head I can say, okay, I'm writing for at least 30% on a year, So, but I'm not gonna hold it until that long though. Like it's SoFi goes to 40, $50 within the year. Those are gonna go from 20 to 10, 20 to 8, 9, and then I'll buy back for a 50%, 51% profit within the year. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just a number, and that's a number that I feel comfortable. If I was to hold for that long, that's 50% is a number I feel comfortable having my money set up, kind of on the side for the year, right? Let's see here. CKT saying, Dude Face saying you can't stop on SoFi. Jesse Wilkes, are you buying puts on anything? Today was not a day to buy puts. Today was not. Yesterday was the day to buy puts. Not right now. Susan Shops. When millions of folks can't pay for their health insurance, the rest of us will see our premiums go up 3 times. They will math on CNBC. Oh, they did the math on CNBC. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. And like it doesn't have to be, it's just if you just do the math, right? Like if you take the math from like Harvard or like Stanford or Berkeley or any accredited university that does the same math, they'll show you. Any nonprofit could do that math, and then you'll come up with those numbers. Like everybody else ends up footing the bill, but never the trillionaires. Never the trillionaires. I saw this debate on TV where this one guy was saying, we're going to have a shutdown, a governmental shutdown, because they're not going to be able to come into terms between the Democrats and the Republicans. And the guy's just blaming the Democrats, and he's saying, I don't understand why the Democrats need to have anything. They don't have control over like the House or the Senate or the presidency. So like, what's their problem? And I'm like, he just answered his own friggin' question. The Democrats don't have the House. They don't have the Senate, and they definitely don't have the presidency. This is all on Republicans. But I think it's laughable how Republicans are trying to blame Democrats for anything. You wanted to play this game. You wanted to have control over everything. There it is. It all falls on you now. Now you can say, "Oh, it's a Schumer shutdown," but it's like Charles Schumer is not the majority leader. Last I checked. So you better go check with your homies, right? And everything is going to fall on Republicans this time around. That's it. It's bottom line. So you guys have to find a happy medium. That's exactly why people chose you. So we could represent them. But this is the thing. People lose their health insurance, they know who to blame, right? People lose their jobs, they'll know who to blame. People lose any type of if people's taxes get higher, they'll know who to blame, right? If people just can't afford groceries or living standards go down, they'll know who to blame, right? So I hate that they play these games. a family income of 85,000 will see their premiums 24,000. No one can pay that. Yeah, no, it's just this is what people voted for though. They wanted to play the game, right? FAFO era is here, man. That's what happens. We are gonna get some tax cuts though. I know for a fact, you and I, guys, we're gonna pay less taxes, which is great. We try to warn everybody. I just people from Appalachia and people from like West Virginia, people from like Arkansas, rural Arkansas, and rural Mississippi, and these all these places where Republicans have been running those places for decades, and they're at the bottom of the barrel on everything, on education, on life expectancy, on everything. Like, who are you to blame? Like, do you want the country to go that route? Right? So, but people that are making money are going to make more money. And that's exactly why we're in the stock market, and it's going to be sad to see all these people, in West Virginia crying because their hospitals are getting shut down. Hospitals in rural, Republicania are getting shut down everywhere. Texas, Mississippi, Wyoming, all these rural hospitals are shutting down. They're cutting costs everywhere. This is what people voted for, though. So now you're going to have to, suffer the consequences. What is it that I like to say that elections have consequences? I know I used a billion, but it's just because the fucker's a billionaire. But like that's an insane, an exorbitant amount of money. You know what I mean? And like I can, if it's your first time marrying someone and it's like your sweetheart, right? And you guys have been together for a couple of years, and it's like you've never been married, she's never been married, and you guys are in like total bliss, and you're like, like this is the most expensive thing I can give you, and like I have a ring for you, and like but it's like some chick that cheated on her husband with kids and everything, and it's just, I, you know, eh, I feel nothing. Susan Chef said we're about to see a healthcare nightmare very soon. Yeah, I mean, sooner than people think. There will be trillionaires because they continue to expand the cash basis. Everything is debt based, so the cash basis will continue to grow. There'll be multiple trillionaires. That is a fact, dude. That is a fact. We moved away from the gold standard and we have adopted the debt standard. That's exactly what that's we use in collateral for loans, right? Is the debt standard. And so, anyways, that's where we are, and that's what people wanted. So, we'll see what happens, man. We will see what happens. SoFi is recovering. AI is at 66. Unity's taking a nice dump. Hey, remember when Unity was almost $50 a share? And I said, guys, write some 55s expiring January. They were giving you $6, $7, $8 per share in premium. You'd be sitting laughing now. RXRX, it just it doesn't matter how bad it gets. RXRX stays within $4.50 to $5, and I think I love it. Rivian is just at $16 almost. Remember, I was telling you guys at 12. At 12, Rivian's here to stay. Don't poo-poo on Rivian. GME, GME is I think it's just collateral damage at this point. I think the algos just sold off. They needed to like you make some quick cash, and it was just part of the algo dumping this morning. Look for it to close like right underneath 27 on tomorrow, actually. So let's look for that. And then next week, I think it's gonna go to 27, close below 28, maybe or 29. They're definitely trying to keep it under 30. So I'm very curious to see what they're planning and how this moves for the next few weeks. But as of right now, I haven't sold anything on GME, and I'm just kind of seeing what happens, right? And then just as soon as the stock goes to $30, then I may sell some $32 cover calls just to see. But my thing is that I'm trying to get the warrants, and then once I have the warrants, then I'll see how that plays out, and then I'll start writing some cover calls, no matter what. Archer Aviation went under $8 today. Well, under 9 for a second, and it recovered. It's at 938. Um, SMCI, it went below 45 for a second. It's at 46. I have some $50 calls and $45 cover calls that I sold when they ripped, when SMCI ripped like mofo. And I got 1660 for those 50s, and I got 1850 for those 45s. As of right now, I'm chilling. I'm just gonna let those die out. I'm gonna wait for another 6 months to see what happens. If I can buy them back for like 20%, I'll be all right. If not, let them take away that stock. Um, let's see here. Sentinel One went under 18 today. It was at 1776 for a second. You know what? I've been telling you guys, man. Uh, Sentinel One, man. You guys could have done some $18 cash secure puts expiring December, and those would have brought you in. Well, right now they could bring you in $1.60. $18 cash secure put expiring December 160, almost 10%. That stock is not supposed to be here, but it is. Very well run company. Uh, Market cap $6 billion. It should be there. If anything, the market cap should be closer to 30, 20. But it is what it is. It's just going to keep growing. You know, their metrics are good. They're year on year out. They're doing well. The quarterly earnings were good. So yeah, TerraWolf. TerraWolf went down to 10.52 this morning, and now it's a dollar. It's up $1 since then. Um, I rolled yesterday, and I'm just crossing my arms at this point. I'm gonna see what they could take that stock if they want. Riot's down like around 5% today. It was down 7% earlier on. Right now, if you wanted to, you could write some of these on Riot. It's at 17, so you could write some 15s, bring in $161. Why not? Basically, you're getting the stock below 1350. I see no problem with that. No problem with that whatsoever. BMNR, like I said, BMNR, I'm on it. I actually averaged down a bit today. I got a few shares. I did write another cash cure put, and the 55 landing. I got $14 for it. Then I wrote a $50 cash cure put. I got $10 for it. So mitigating, right, and then buffering ourselves. Open door. Open door got down to like $8 this morning. It's sub 8 actually. It went sub 8 for a second, and now it's 8.78. Yesterday I was telling you guys, the day before, $7 cash secure puts, man. $7 cash secure puts out to November. Those will bring you in like $1.60, $1.65, $1.70. So 160 to $170. Not a terrible deal, right? So that kind of, you gotta wait for a nice little pullback right now. It's up 7%. I say, right now would be a good time to sell some covered calls. Right now, you could sell some November 21st, $10 covered calls and bring in $2. Ask for $2, right? $1.97 if you want to get filled. Stocks at 8.80. You're asking for $2 on a $10 strike. Not terrible at all. Take some money off the table, right? Protect yourself. Some $9 for 226. I'd rather you sell a 10, and bring in $2. Nice little safeguard. You're $1.20 away from the money, and you're bringing in $2. So you're essentially selling at 12. Not a bad deal, my friends. If it tanks again, you could buy back like at 40% profit, 50% profit, and then do it again. BBAI. BBAI got down to like 680 today. It's 720 right now. I sold $10 covered calls the other day for like 150, 160. Uh, See, this is why we sell covered calls. It ran hot. It was running hot. And I sold $10 covered calls, 10 of them, for $1.50. That's $1,500 in my pocket right now. I could get out at 98 cents and then made $520 for nothing. But I'm just gonna leave it there because I'm okay if those calls get taken away. Then take them, take them. Right, my average is in the $4. Take them. Let's see here. IOVA is down. PROP is down. ASST is just it's down 3% today. It's almost $3. Don't touch that with a 10-foot pole, guys. Stay away from ASST. This is on my own personal journey. It's one of those that it's more of an experiment that I'm doing, and it's just very high risk. Stay away from it. But it's at $3 right now. I'm waiting for October 17th to see what's going to happen. If you wanted to take a stab at it, $2 cash and cure puts are bringing you $53 right now. Ask for 55. You're basically getting over 25% for a couple of weeks. Although, like I said, high risk, so be wary. 250s are almost $1, getting 40%, but I think $2 is something that a little more palatable, right? Because you're protected almost $1 to the downside. But again, not endorsing anything. Just saying. Not telling you guys how to trade here. Rocket companies down 2.5% or 2.3% right now. It was down almost 4% this morning. And guess what? I went in and I bought shares. I bought shares at 8.95, I believe. So, yeah, 8.95. And so I'm in. I started a position, and I have some $20 cash secure puts as well. I have like 10 altogether. And I think averaging like around, I want to say close to $3, like 292, averaging 292. So, you know, $20 cash secure puts on RKT. Basically, I'm buying the stock for $17. Stock's at 19.11 right now. Deuces. I'm daring the market to put those shares in my account. And these are 11.21 strikes, expiries. $20 strikes, 11.21 expiries. So right now, you could do a $20 cash secure put on companies for 276. 276 is where it's at right now. I don't see a problem with that. Get paid $276 to buy it at 20. Not a bad deal. Not in November. You can go to December, see what December gives you. I think it's probably well over 3. Let's see. Let's go to December just so that you can buffer yourself even more. $3.15. That's where the needle is between the bid and the ask. So basically, you're buying for $16.85, right? Not a terrible deal, my friends. Not a terrible deal. 2015, not a terrible deal at all. Let's see here. Weeble, I keep telling you guys, man, on any weakness, jump in because today was down almost 30 something. I sold some $15 cash secure puts expiring January, and I brought in $4. I brought in $4, essentially buying them at $11 a share. What is wrong with that? You tell me if you find any flaw on this technique, right? In this strategy. The shares are at 1446 right now, right? They were down earlier, but well, anyways, I said to the world, I believe in Weeble. I think Weeble is worth at least $11 a share. Uh, I mean, realistically, I believe it's worth 15 because that's the strike that I chose, right? But I'm saying, you know what? Can you give me $4 per share for me believing in this ticker? For me believing that Weeble, who's doing the same thing as Robinhood, same market, same. Actually, there are way more international markets than Robinhood, but that's besides the point. Direct competitor to Robinhood, they're not as toxic when it comes to, the shenanigans. Um, I'm getting paid $4 to buy it, right? 10 of those brought me in 4K. What is wrong with that? I'm getting paid to buy a stock I want. Worst case scenario, I get 1,000 shares of Webull, and I'm averaging $11. Best case scenario, uh, I receive my my 20,000 bucks, right? Sorry, my 15,000 bucks on in January, and I get to keep the 4,000 bucks. What is wrong with that? You guys tell me if there's anything wrong with that at all, right? That's how we do. Let's see here. People are trading now. They stop commenting. All right. So, anyways, chat. You guys tell me where the opportunity is today. Am I missing something? And do you guys have something that I bought back my QBTS? By the way, covered calls. I bought back. Oh, ASTS. ASTS is down 8% today, guys. So remember how ASTS was like 55 bucks, and I was telling you guys about those $50 puts. Well, right now you can sell a $50 put, a cash secure put. It's at $50 right now, and it expires in June 2026, and you're receiving 1,400 bucks in change. That's not terrible, my friends. That is not terrible at all. You're basically getting over 33%, 35%, pretty much, and you're saying to the world, $50, give me 1,400 bucks right now for my $5,000. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Not if you like ASTS. Not if it's going where you think it's going, and if the market shows some weakness, then you get those shares. What is the problem? There's no problem. Nvidia got down today to 173, 172, and it's now 178. Let's see here. Ion Q. Ion Q keeps falling. Ion Q has gone up so much in the last 3 months. It went literally from in the last 3 months from $30 to 67. It could come down. It can come down. If it comes down to like 37, $40, you could look at some $40 cash secure puts out a few months back, and then just bring in like a lot of cash. You could look at 35s, and then you can go that route. But right now, I think it could come down some more. Let's see here. DNA is recovering. Great, because I bought back those covered calls. MicroStrategy or strategy is down 5.7%. So if you want to go and take some exposure when it comes to Bitcoin, you can sell some December cash secure puts. It's at 304 right now. You go to 275 strike, and bring in $2,300 if you wanted to. Let's see here. Bullish is down some. It could come down to 55, and then we'll talk. Red Cat. Red Cat. It was down to 960 something this morning, below 5%, and now it's a little red. I believe I sold some cash secure puts yesterday on a big dip, and right now those 160 for 160, and those 160s are 180. I'm doing nothing. That's where I'm at. $10 cash secure puts are bringing you 180 right now, so I think that's a good risk to take. But basically, you're buying Red Cat for almost 20% less than what it is now in November, on November 21st. So get paid $180 to buy Red Cat at 10. Not terrible at all, my friends. 18%. That's what you're bringing. Let's see here. What else do we have? SQQQ is falling, which means QQQ is recovering. Navitas Semiconductor it was down like 8% this morning. It's recovering a little bit, but right now, if you wanted to take some exposure into NVTS, that is NV as in uh, volatility, $6 cash secure puts. They brought somebody $1 today. You could bring in 95 cents right now if you wanted to. 93, 95 cents for a $6 cash secure put, expiring in December. Not terrible. Expiring in November, ask for 80. Not terrible. I think that's better. It's closer, a month closer, and just like 15 cents off. That's not terrible. QUBT bought back those covered calls as well, and I love it. Now, and I bought back my cash secure puts yesterday. Look at that. Today, QUBT $19 cash secure puts will bring you 415, guys. What do you think, chat? $19 cash secure puts expiring in January will bring you 420 right now. $420 to buy QUBT at 19. The stock is at $20. I don't see the problem. If you are looking into quantum stocks and you believe that this is the future, you're basically buying it for, almost 25% cheaper because of that $415. I don't see a problem. 420, I don't see a problem. All right. Let's see here. What else do we got? Rigetti Computing. I hope you guys took if you guys sold covered calls, I hope you guys bought them back earlier on. Rigetti's flying, it's flying hot. I think if you were holding Rigetti, you bought it at 10, $15 and it's 31 right now. Don't be afraid to take money off the table, guys. Same thing with QUBT, same thing with QBTS. They run hot, right? And so right now, if you were to sell, if you bought 1,000 shares and you sold 500, you took money. You're making money, and you're staying in the game with 500, but you're taking a profit. You're ensuring your safety in case there's a downturn, which is likely. I mean, look at everything today is telling you that Jerome Powell is going to use these numbers and say, I don't think we're going to have to need another. I don't think we need another rate cut. I think we're going to look at the numbers. That's what he's going to say in October. And then we'll touch base in November. So, I think that's what's happening. And I think that's why the markets got spooked today. Serve Robotics is down 7% right now. Serve Robotics. November 21st, $11 cash secure put is bringing you 160 right now. You want to be a little more conservative? Sell a $10 cash secure put expiring January for 175, bringing in 17.5%. Nothing wrong with that at all. You could go to 11, sell a $11 cash secure put, bring in 225. But I think that's all up to you. You're basically getting it under $10. That's not terrible. Let's see here. Soundhound is down a bit. It's down 6-7% today. So you like Soundhound? You want to play there? You thought that you missed the train, but you haven't. You sold some covered calls. You could buy them back today. $15 cash secure puts on Soundhound will put you $1.63 out of the money, and you could bring $241 into your account for a $15 cash secure put. Essentially, you're buying Soundhound for around $12.50. I don't see a problem. Let's see here, my friends. Domo is down 3.48%. Domo. Let's see, Domo. Domo, December 19th, cash secure puts. $15 cash secure puts bring you in $158. $158. Not terrible. Bringing in almost 10% of your investment. That's not terrible at all, my friends. Clean Spark is at 14.36. You could do some $13 cash secure puts expiring December, November. AAOI. Now this is the one that I'm very interested to. I want it to come down to 23 again. If it comes down to 23 again, I'm going to sell some January $20 cash secure puts, maybe some 22.50s, and I'm trying to bring in $5. $5 for some 22.50 cash secure puts expiring January, and that's going to be the tricky one. Essentially, I'm buying them for like 17.50, right? So, yeah, right now those are bringing you 370. You probably could get filled at 370, 375. But AAOI, I like. It got hot. It ran hot. But it's definitely moving to a position where I'm gonna sell some more cash secure puts. You guys know I love my AAOI, man. And under 25 for sure. At 24, 23, even better. So yeah. Let's see here. Tesla's down to 430, down $13. If Tesla comes down to 350, then I'm definitely gonna have a look see. Lyft is down a bit today. It got down to 21.44. It's 21.70. Doing some $20 cash secure puts on Lyft, expiring January, brings you in $188, $190. Not terrible, my friends. Let me tell you, not terrible at all. Lyft is a good company, man. QuantumScape was down 8% this morning, and it's up 1% now. So, this morning would have been the time to buy some or sell some cash secure puts. Mara Holdings is down 5.75% right now. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go into Mara right now, my friends. Mara Holdings. So close to the low of the day. Let me go to November. $16 cash secure put brings me $182. Let's see, December. Yeah, I like December. 228. Let me see if I get filled for 228. $228 to buy Mara at $16 in December. Let's see if I get filled, my friends. It's out there. It's in the ether. ASTS, $45 cash secure puts on ASTS expiring January could bring you $715 right now. That's not terrible. That's not terrible at all. All right, chat. I'm gonna get out of here. I have to go to the physical therapist again, and so I'm gonna hit the road. But great seeing you guys. Thank you for watching. Uh, I'll be seeing you guys probably not tomorrow morning because I have to go with the little one for him to have a little surgery on his thumb, right? So we'll see what happens. Um, and I know he's gonna be scared. He's pretty nervous and he's asking questions, but um, dad's gonna be there, mom's gonna be there. Hopefully things will go well. He has this little growth in his thumb that is kind of affecting the way he writes, and it starts getting sensitive after he writes a while. And he just started first grade, so they're doing a lot more writing now, and so it's got to come off. However, because he's a child, they want to be as careful as possible. They had us go and take some sonograms and take X-rays and make sure he doesn't have any little veins there or arteries or any growth, any muscles. I don't know. And so that the doctor could come in, and it's going to be a plastic surgeon that's going to do the surgery. It's a pediatric plastic surgeon, and we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, so I won't be with you guys tomorrow. Uh, However, I just that's the reason I won't be here tomorrow. But I'm hoping that maybe tonight, like around 6 o'clock, I may go live for a little bit just to touch base on what we see this evening and see what overnight trading is looking like, right? See what the Asian markets are looking like, and then see if we can make a plan for tomorrow. Um, but again, we are not afraid of the downside. We are not afraid of the upside. We are here to take what the markets give us. And so it's all about just having a plan, right? In any case, I hope you guys are having a great trading day right now. I see that a lot of you guys are probably trading and up in your own little worlds, which I think is awesome. Um, and you guys are making a killing. Um, Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to trade right now myself, and trying to make sure that these go through and that I'm doing this correctly. Let's see here. Give me a second, guys. I think there's something that I wanted to share with you guys. Um, but I can't find it. Hmm. I'm trying to find the chat. Give me a second here. Anyways, let's see here. Here we go. Yep, here it is. All right, Yahoo Finance. Here it is. All right. So this is why I get so, it's really hard to take these guys seriously sometimes. Um, S&P 500 is down like 0.5%. Dow 30 is down 26 basis points. Nasdaq's down 0.5%. The Russell 2000 is down almost 1%. The VIX is up 3.5%. Gold is down 0.07 basis points. Here's where I get angry.